I'm Tanvi. Welcome to another guest episode of Pages and Beyond podcast show. Today I'm having with me Nikhil Sampath.
Hey,
And
Tanvi, wait. Let me stop you right there.
okay,
We have a surprise. You have been listening to all of us, talking for so long. Now we all want to listen to you. How about I host the show and you be a guest
okay.
in your own show?
Oh wow, that will be wonderful. I have been invited to a podcast once online, and that was with a friend. So this will be something interesting for me to try, and maybe I'll get something to know more about myself from myself.
No, that makes sense. And we also want to know about you because you wear multiple hats. You have a day job, you're a poet, you write non-fiction. Uh, I don't know, but secretly you should be trying fiction as well, mostly. And on top of that, you're a bookstagrammer, you review books, and then, of course, you read books. That is a given here. But yeah, you wear multiple hats. And today, I mean, at least when I came to the show, I decided, I'm picking your brain today. And it's not
Oh,
going to be other way around, for sure.
smart.
So yeah, we will do another episode with me later on. Today it's not Pages and Beyond by Tanvi, it's Pages and Beyond by Nikhil, where we go beyond the pages and learn about the author today.
Wonderful.
So yeah, Tanvi, let me start with Tides of Being because that is the latest one that has been published. Not recently, but your recent publishing one. So how did it start? What was the idea behind writing Tides of Being?
So, uh, I love talking about this, the process that when I went through while writing it. It was a 90 days journey, I guess.
Okay.
Randomly one day, I started posting stories with writing micro poems on my Instagram stories. I was just putting out thoughts like, do you watch sunset? Do you manifest something? All these kind of do and does are there. I don't remember the title concretely because right now I'm working on some other work.
Okay, it's okay. We'll
So,
come.
so I'm just juggling with those titles. I used to write that. Two of my friends just told me these are intrusive thoughts. And from there, I picked it up. I kept writing, and I was like, oh, I'm working on intrusive thoughts. Suddenly, I realized 3 months have passed, and I was having 90 of such intrusive thoughts. And I was like, I have to publish them because they were, first thing, they were poem. Then they were about everyone. Like, we often keep questioning ourselves, but we never find the right answers. And sometimes there are a lot of people who don't even think about questioning themselves. So that was the insight in my mind that was running for that particular title, Types of Being, and that is how it came. And suddenly it became a dream project because it also involved illustrations by one of my friends. We collaborated to come up with this idea and we made it concrete within a span of like around 9 to 12 months, I guess, because I wrote it in 23 and we published in 24. So, like, round about a year gap. Because I feel every book should see a year long journey, every season should be seen by the book. So, that is how the book evolves.
These thoughts, I'm gonna take that one. Make my process a
Definitely,
little bit slower.
I am pretty much sure I have also picked it from somewhere. But
Ah,
that is what I realized that I picked it from somewhere. I realized I was using that already.
ah,
So I
nice.
always carry this.
The title actually hooked me. To be very frank,
Okay.
like I told you earlier as well, this was the only poetry book I have ever read. The title was something that was very catchy. I mean, Tides of Being is not something that you see every day, right? Like, you could have named it a dozen more, like using mundane things or whatnot. But how did the title come to you? Because it's very unique and very catchy. Like people would love the title for sure. So I want
I'll
you.
tell you a blender behind this title. It's not unique anymore. The day we published this title, after a few days, somebody published The Tides of Being.
Oh my God. Okay.
Somehow we realized something is fishy around that title.
Uh.
Okay, the cover was AI generated because we were trying AI generated cover, so we could
Yeah,
recognize
easily spotted.
that was there. So that happened. First, we were very much furious about it, like why, how someone can steal our title and something like that. Then we realized nobody steals anything, everything is out there. Somebody might take it with the same thought. And there are a lot of books that have the same title.
Uh,
So it's not like it's not necessary that the person has stolen from us. That
True.
was one thing. If I talk about types of being, how it came, so it was something. The titles were something related to wavy, like if I say जैसे हम कहें कि मझधार में से लहर के बीच में इंसान है, like so it tides came from there.
Mhm.
Somehow we made sense. There were multiple more titles. I don't remember now, but tides of being sit well with us because it was about the humans and how we are stuck between all these obstacles and how we can come out of it. So that is how it came up, and that was not just my thing. Me and my illustrator, we brainstormed on a lot of titles, and then we came up with that. Like at some point, we were not even agreeing to each other, and then we had to take outsiders vote, and based on that, we came up with
No, that
title.
always happens with every creative decision you take. That if there is
Yes,
draw, you need to have a tiebreaker. You need someone to, tell you that you are good.
yes, you don't have to doubt yourself every time. You can
Yeah.
trust your instincts.
So yeah, I mean, one thing that stood out for with Tides of Being for me at least was, I mean, you told it earlier, but it was very introspective. Like I kind of ask questions that I generally don't ask myself. So, do you generally ask those questions to yourself as well? And then that's how the poem comes, or you ask it through the poem, like when you write. Like how? What is the process of writing poetry for you? Like you ask yourself and then it translates, or you ask as you write.
For this book, I would say I have lived each poem every day. Like I
Ah,
did not, I was not I was not knowing that I'll come up with this book.
um,
Somehow I was just seeing around. Okay, like I am traveling to office and I saw something, and based on that, do you or does your something like that. That kept coming. I did not force myself. I did not push anything on myself. I just observed and felt like this is something, and I can ask myself. So every question or every poem that has been in that book that has been written with a different process, like I have lived through that process, lived through that poem that particular day, and not a whole day, but just the part, just the time I have written that. So that used to be like that. That was the real self of me, like the real moment I have captured in those poems for those 90 to 100 days. Like 100 poems are there. So I have captured each day of my life at that point of time when I wrote those poems.
so for an author, every book is special. That is a
Yes.
given, 100%. I agree. And leaving your upcoming one aside for now, until Tides of Being, what makes Tides of Being so special for you?
I'll tell you one thing about it. Every time I come up with a new book, na, that book becomes special. I don't know
True.
how. I think there is something new in that
Hmm.
upcoming book, something like that. But Tides of Being became a dream project because I always wanted to have poems with illustrations. But I could not make time for illustrations myself, and I had to paint them and then do it. I was not well versed with that. But I don't know, I manifested it, or like universe just sent my friend's friend. She is a friend. She was a friend of a friend, but now we are good friends. So that is how I met her. I just reached out to her for one of the tote bags. I wanted a customized tote bag, and I liked her painting. So I just reached out to her. I want this. Just give me this. And somehow it got in my mind, like, should I ask her if we can collaborate? And she was like so happy, and I was on ninth cloud. I was like, oh, we can do this. It was difficult at points because our timelines did not match, and you know how publishing is.
Yeah.
It's not everything is not in our hands. Sometimes we have to stick around on the deadlines. So these kind of things have kept happening. But the best part was the end result. We were having 101 poems with 101 illustrations. that was the best part for me about Tides of Being. So yeah, because I cannot say the upcoming book is not special for me. That has become there's
No, we'll
another
come there.
aspect.
Don't worry. I have questions from that too. So wait,
No,
I'll, I'll, I'll pry you. Don't worry.
another aspect of speciality for that particular book.
I'm gonna come there. Wait. I'm gonna take everything out of you today.
Okay.
So tell me, I mean, you talked a lot about your illustrator. Tell me how important was illustration for Tides of Big? Like, for example, a poem lands irrespective of illustration. I mean, it's my thought. It might be wrong as well, but uh, poem lands because of the language and everything. But
Language and illustration,
yeah,
both. Yeah.
but how helpful was the illustration for you to, reach the intended, or rather, the intended view of the poem to the readers, basically?
Okay, I usually like I have written three poetry book. Okay, none of them except for Tides of Being were like short poems. These were micro poems. So
Uh-huh.
I felt like either I can place it in the middle, so
Mm-hmm.
there will be symmetry,
Mm-hmm.
or else I can think of a illustration and then it will be balanced. So that was one perspective with which I was interested to get the illustration for this book. Like
Mm-hmm.
right now, if I'm having poetry book ideas, I'm not in like there is no in my no headspace about getting illustration for them as of now. But for that particular, all the poems were micro poems. So as uh, as I mentioned, like the questions are not answered truly by me. People have to find their own answers after reading those poems. So does the illustration. Illustration speaks for itself, for themselves. So that was the way, like combining illustrations and poems became important for Tides of Being because that will give room for the readers to like live with that moment itself. So that is what I was told also by one of my readers, or I would say that would be my friend, of course. I don't remember the name. They were like poem are saying that for themselves and illustrations are saying for themselves. But between that is the reader's thought. So that makes all the sense.
Yeah, I'll say that the illustration on the cover was, it was so good. Like, uh, I mean, I don't have the exact word to say it. Like, it just entices you into reading, the swirling water and stuff. Like, it was very good. I mean, I certainly would want you to work more with the same illustrator. It was very good. Even the cover, and then I mean, everything was good about the book, even the font, and I actually loved the book, to be very
I'll
honest.
tell you the cover part. We spent many days. We went to ChatGPT. We did everything we
Uh-huh.
could. Then randomly, when we were going through the title, Tides of Being, and we were going through the illustration. There was one illustration where the where a person was inside the storm. If you have
Mm.
noticed, so it was that illustration. There it was storm, and here it
Yes.
was water. It's in the
Yes.
tides.
Those kinds of, I love those kinds of covers, which do not just explicitly tell what the book is about, but yeah, it gives an abstract idea. The
Metaphoric.
reader has to interpret what it's about, Uh, Tides of Being did that for me actually. Like
Oh
it is
wow.
one of the I would say beautiful is one thing, but it was one of the most attractive covers, I would say. Like
Oh
which
wow, that's a huge compliment. I'm gonna share it in her.
Sure, sure, definitely. The idea behind it was very good, to be very honest. Yeah. So,
Yeah, actually, I had friends who were disagreeing with them because they were saying like it's about the introspection and hope. The same thing happening with my
yeah.
current one. So they were like, "Why you are droning a man in the tides?" I was like, "I'm not droning the man in the tides. It's a man trying to come out of
Come out.
the
Yeah.
tides." So that was my thought. So that's how it is.
It is very good. Okay. So one last question about Tides of Being I'm going to ask. If you have to select only one, okay? You
Okay.
have to select one poem that you want to stand the test of time, and one poem which can be forgotten as the time goes off. One to destroy, one to stand the time, stand the test
Okay.
of time. From Tides of Being, basically.
This is a difficult question. For that, I'm pretty much sure I have to look into the book. I'll
Okay.
go by the theme actually.
Sure.
I want to keep all the poems from you and Chaos.
I will keep all the poems, but for question's sake, you have to do this.
No, I'm just saying when you and Chaos theme, that theme was in a you and Chaos, the second one.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah. Oh,
thinking
got you, got
like
you.
that are more related to me.
Ah,
Like that shows the real raw me.
ah, ah,
But
ah.
again, they have you, but they are for you as well. So that is the essence of it.
Ah.
Okay, let me just go. I'll just choose by the title.
Sure,
Okay,
sure.
not going to the poems.
No, no, that makes sense.
Witness change does that. I'll just keep the does that matter by the title. That does not attract me too much. I don't
Okay.
remember the content. I don't remember the content. The title I can say
So
that
you just
that
want
is
to destroy.
yeah,
Doesn't matter
does
to
that
you.
matter?
Doesn't matter, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'll let it go.
Ah,
Okay.
ah.
Then I'll the one that I want to keep will be around miracles or manifestation. So I
Hmm.
think there were multiple poems related to manifestation and miracles. I can see both of them. So I'll go with Do You Believe in Manifestation? Because that has done wonders for me for the past 2 years,
Nice.
if I can say. So
Okay.
that is a poem I want to spread to everyone. Do you believe in manifestation? And everybody should like follow it, I must say, because as we say, the you are living a prayer you had been had earlier in your life, like in your younger age. Now you are praying for something you will have in your future. So that's all manifestation. And this year, though, I just can't say like it that has a blast. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Tanvi, the person now, basically. I want to know the process of your writing. Let's start with poems first. How do you structure your poems? How do you start? Like, do you have a specific time that you work on, or you let inspiration hit you and then do it, or basically take me. I want to be inside your head. Tell me how is
I
your.
want to surprise I want to surprise you and the audience.
Uh,
It's been months that I have written a single poem. And I feel like what am I doing in my life if I'm not writing poem? Because that was a spark for me to write. I came into the writing world because of the poems. I started writing poems. So that's why I am like in my head it is there. I'm just trying to tell myself next year is the poem. Next year it is going to be poems. Actually, for the last 2 consecutive years now, I did 2 poem book. I usually don't do like that. I changed the genre. So that
okay.
happened and that changed everything for me. After that, I started working on short stories and this non-fiction came in. So because of that, I have stopped going to open mic these days. So because of that, I am not getting time to write poems.
But
I
in
do
general,
write, yeah,
but in
but
general, how do you go about it? Like, for example, let's take Tides of
hmm,
Blue.
yes, yes, I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that.
Huh.
So usually, see, when I started writing in eighth standard. So
Hmm.
I had a huge collection by when I wrote my first book. So for the first time, I just compiled the poem from the collection. That was the first time. Okay, so I did not have to. I'll tell you that process how I used to write. I would create a mood board kind of a stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I'll write the titles. I'll write random titles and I'll just ask people, give me a title, give me this, give me that. I'll collect all those. And on a daily basis, I'll start writing on them. So this is one thing that I used to do in the initial days. Then I came up with the quotes idea. So I came up with my second book. But when I was like in the third year of my writing career, I was like, what should I do now? At that point, I took some poem from my collection and I wrote a few. So when I write, I usually do free verse until unless I am like determined to do some specific uh, type of poem. I try to, but I don't want to bind them every time until unless I am just looking for something specific. Like if I'll tell you, I love sonnets. Okay, maybe I won't be following the exact sonnet definition, but I want to try that someday. So for the past 2 books, I have written the first opening poem for those two poetry books. as sonnet. So that is what I do. I just start writing. I just something comes into my mind, I start writing, and then polishing and other things can wait for later. So that is how I do.
Okay.
My first thing is like if I have something in mind, I'll just write it.
Nice. Yeah.
So that is how I go about poems. But even if I have to bind it, now I'll decide it at an initial phase itself when I start writing. I'll do this. So that is how I do.
So you said you have been writing from your eighth grade, right? Like,
Yes.
what will eighth grade Tanvi say when she reads Tides of Being?
My God, if I when I go back to my old poems, I'm like, what did I write this? But eighth grade Tanvi will say, "Oh, you have come so far. You have to go a little farther."
Will she
Something like,
understand it first?
huh?
Will she understand it first? Tides of Being.
Yeah, in eighth standard, I was too mature for my age.
To be frank, half the poems I, reread, or, three times I had to read to just understand. And you're actually saying, eighth grade Tanvi would easily understand. I'm like, there is a huge gap, but yeah.
Maturity level. And it's
Uh,
not talking about you. I'm just
yeah,
talking about Tanvi's mind, the
yeah,
maturity
no, no,
level of
just
that
tell
time.
me.
I wrote a poem that that Nirbhaya Kand that happened in Delhi. I wrote a poem on that, and everybody liked that. That was in Hindi. First thing, it was in Hindi.
Yeah,
Everybody liked that. Okay, I wrote a poem on on mother. So everybody do like that, but that was a acrostic poem that I wrote on mother. I wrote two, three poems at that time, different versions of on mother. And there was one more. There was a song Zindagi Ek Safar types of song was there. Zindagi Ek Safar. Something on that grounds I wrote my first poem on in Hindi. That was my first poem. So that was me.
I think poets mature earlier. We fiction writers struggle with
I don't know.
maturity.
It's not about writers. It's about how you have been experiencing in your life, like the way you have been living and the way you have been traumatized in your surroundings from your childhood. That makes us mature.
I know. I'm just saying, you still write sensible stuff while I write superhero stories. So that's where I'm coming
That's
from.
also good. Like I have been hearing good things, so I'm like, it's fine. Everybody's talking something like ye hero wo hero but ye wala hero, something like that is coming in my feed, so I can say that it is something people are looking for. Everybody knows Superman, Spider-Man. So I just saw it yesterday only, so somebody mentioned this is something different and this is Indian. So that was there. And
Thank
the best part is we our vibe match at introspection. So yeah, that is also there.
you. True, true. I mean, at least at this age, I should write a little bit matured. Otherwise, there is no
I
difference
don't
between.
think that was immature. That the
No,
writing.
no. I'm saying it's mature. At this
Hmm.
point, I'm writing mature. The same stories I
Okay.
used to do a little bit immature when I was in eighth grade. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah, yeah. Let's ask. So I have seen some poets, do this. Like, you give a situation and then they just blast off some poetry. Are you that kind of a poet, or are you more of a wait? I have to think about it poet.
I can write on the spot. I need time to write. I'm like, it depends on the situation and the title. I'll tell you one incident.
Huh.
I was coming back from one of my trips last year. I was coming from Valley of Flowers. At that time, that something was that Kolkata tragedy was happening. That about the doctors. So I was in the location where there was no network at that time. When I just came to the network, like came to my senses, and I saw my social media. Everybody was buzzing. Everybody was playing in the buzz, and somehow I started writing that poem. I wrote a poem on that, and I was like, "What? How could I like?" I felt a little so like I felt a little bad. Like we have been living our lives so carelessly, and somebody there out is facing so much things. So that triggered me, and I just came up with that poem to just make myself feel a little better, or make myself feel a little less guilty about it, to express how I feel about it. Something.
So I saw a video of you from 8 years ago in YouTube. No,
that
no.
that was my immature sense.
No, that wasn't immature. That's where I'm coming to, basically. It wasn't even immature. I knew you, it was a long time earlier. Like, I could see the difference at least, like, in your looks and stuff. But, at that age, you were still doing what generally mature people do, basically. But tell me, what was running in that Tanvi's mind, to stand in front of a mic, deliver an awesome poem and a message with it, actually.
Okay.
No?
Yeah, actually, I wrote two poems at that time. I was reached out to by the college studio team. So they wanted some slam poetries. They knew I write poems, so they wanted some slam poetries. So I just wrote the poems on my situation. Like, I am a girl, I am a hostelier, I'll drink and smoke all these things. So there was this: I am a girl, I am hostelier, because we were living. Our college was in jungle,
Uh-huh.
Pauri Garhwal. Okay, so there were a lot of resources were not there in the evening at the dark. It was not safe to go out. We were just thrown inside the hostel by 5 p.m. in winters and maximum by 6 p.m. in summers. So because of that came. Okay. When I wrote, I am a girl, I'll drink and I'll smoke. I never smoke. I have never I have never done that.
No,
I
but it,
have,
it does give I mean, I don't judge, so I'm just saying it gives a powerful statement that, it's a personal preference at least. It's not.
exactly.
Yeah.
That was not my mind, but I was doing it for someone else, because someone
Yes.
out there was facing that. They were getting judged. You are a girl, why do you smoke? I see. I don't have problem. That's your life. Whatever you do. So I don't like people judging based on the character or the likes or dislikes. So that's why I came up with this. I am a girl. I'll do all these things. Do what you want, even if I don't do.
Interesting. So, generally, I at least see most of your poems from, of course, Tides of Being and this, and based on what you just told me about the Kolkata and everything, most of them are very literary in nature in a way that, it internalizes something and then talks about people changing and then talks about an issue and then talks about identity in this case and all those things. Does Tanvi ever write happy poems?
Ah, happy poem. I have a lot of happy poems. I write about people. I have written a few poems about my loved ones. So there are happy. In also, you will have happy poems. You are now making me think. What have I ever written happy poems, or
See?
I have already considered serious stuff? No, no, I do write. That's on the mood. I'm saying no.
Yeah,
Like you read that manifestation one. That is a serious stuff, but that is about the glowy Tanvi and all
it's a
this.
positive thing at least. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, coming to the bookstore grammar aspect of you, roughly like a ballpark figure, how many books would you have read in your life until now?
In my life, actually, I'll be very honest.
Uh,
From childhood, I was like that kid whose parents would ask her to just study, no outside things. I never had a novel in my hand in my childhood, and we never had
okay.
library in our schools where we
Okay.
can go and read. Okay, I have got, like, in my city, that was not the trend at that time. Okay, so that was it. So I went to Kota after my 12th. When I completed 1 year, I came back with a stack of novels. I was having time. I just finished them. I lost a few of them, and then I went to college. I was more into writing and stuff. Okay, so that gone. That was gone. Like, my reading was gone with those 9 novels. After that, one day when I just published my book, I realized a lot of people reaching out to me. I was new, and I just was passed out of college. I was not aware of this world. So randomly, I was like, I was bombarded with a lot of messages. And I was like, what is this happening? Why are people reaching out to me like this? Because I was not having any Bookstagram friends at the time, so I was not aware of it. Like, that is normal. That is something that I should be going forward with my book. But I did not do it. Okay.
Can relate to it.
Hmm.
Don't.
Then what I actually, I'll tell you. one more thing about my reading. I used to think if I'll read other people's work, their writing will be reflected in my writing style. So that was one of the resistance for me to read books.
Okay.
But soon I realized I am writing different. Like I am writing poetry, they are writing fiction. So somehow that will not be combined anyhow. So what I started doing is I started because to improve you have to read to like what we say अपने craft को अच्छा करने के लिए you have to know more about it. So to know more about it, you have to explore the work of other people. So I started reading books and I realized ऐसे तो मैं इतनी सारी बुक पढ़ के भूल जाऊंगी सब कुछ कैसे याद रहेगा so I started putting reviews of those book like ऐसे की करके ऐसे मुझे याद रहेगा रिव्यू में वो नहीं लिखा है कि बुक में मैंने क्या पढ़ा बुक रिव्यू में ये लिखा है कि मेरे को क्या अच्छा लगा याद कैसे रहेगा ये मैंने कभी नहीं सोचा somehow that turned out as a वो एक पैशन बन गया like I started writing because I was reading a lot of Indian authors like me
Ah,
who just came out in the market and they were doing things so I got to learn a lot of new things so धीरे धीरे करके it started like I was into that bookstagram thing which I was not aware I was already there but I was not known about that terminology even today sometimes I feel I'm the outcasted bookstagram sometimes I feel like that because there are people who define bookstagram reading, they constrain that. So I just keep myself away from it at times. I try to be my natural self. ठीक है. If I'm blogging, it's a blogger. If I'm like writing review, it's a bookstagram. So I just divide myself for myself, not for others. So that's how I keep the balance of being a blogger, bookstagram, author, and podcaster. Because sometimes you know how difficult it is to be your natural self amidst all of these. You are lost. Someday you are a blogger, someday you are a podcaster. So it keeps happening. So that's how I was in the bookstagram without even knowing and I was enjoying this already.
yeah. So, how do you evaluate a book? Like, because you write blogs and then ratings are subjective, but how
Yeah,
do
don't
you?
ask me rating, you know that. What is my answer for
No,
rating?
I'm not even asking you about ratings. I'm saying, how do you say that a book is good or a book is bad? Like, just because it holds your interest, or do you actually look into something? Like, they have criterias for judging a book, is what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, talking about fiction, if I talk about fiction, I divide the book into plot,
Hmm.
character, writing style and the overall these are the three main things that I look up to
Huh.
for a fiction book be it in any genre
Hmm.
ठीक है तो उसमें if we talk about plot I'll start explaining about the plot what I liked about the plot then I'll come to character how relatable are the characters and how readers will love about it and how the characters have been developed what you liked about them and the most important thing what authors are looking from the readers is the writing style critic so that is very important like I mentioned to you as well like
Yeah.
initially I was like how will I go till the end of this book and I think when I was near that I was like oh it is about to get finished so that happened like because I sometimes feel myself confused. Like I don't read blurb before picking up the book usually because I sometimes feel अगर वो बुक खराब निकली तो मुझे ये रहेगा कि मैंने तो पढ़ के ली थी अगर बिना ब्लर्ब पढ़े पढ़ा तो उसमें कम से कम खुद को तो नहीं बोलेंगे ना कि हाँ तुम्हें पता था फिर भी तुमने पढ़ी so I just pick up the book
Okay.
if somebody recommends me or I just feel attracted to that book because every time you are not the one who is choosing the book sometimes book most of the time book chooses you.
True. Very true.
So that happens so that is how I allow myself to get to the book so based on that I don't want to like write like मेरे को ऐसा खराब खराब भी नहीं लिखना है ठीक है so I try to be safe I'll pick up the books those are already like liked by many people or I want to try a different writing style maybe I want to try the author's writing any particular author's writing style or any particular genre like this year I started mythological fiction yeah so this way I just try to come up with for my taste for my learning based on that I'll just give the review.
So, has any author until now Have they come up and attacked you for writing a bad review ever?
Yes, in my initial days, it used to happen. So I was newbie. I was not aware. And they would be like, तुम्हारे तो इतने कम followers है, तुमने मेरी book का ऐसा क्यों review दिया? From then on, I was like, I don't have to just directly jump to the book. I need to know a little bit more about the book and the author at least. So based on हाँ ठीक है blurb मैं तब भी नहीं पढ़ती हूँ मैं पढ़ती फिर भी मैं अचानक से बुक उठाती हूँ ठीक है but the thing is that happened twice or thrice with me and I felt a little bad about it being an author अगर आप किसी को दूसरे ऑथर आपसे हर्ट हो रहा है ना तो आपको थोड़ा सा रह जाता है यू फील अ लिटिल बिट ठीक है यार किसी ने लिखा उस मेहनत तो उसको भी उतनी लगी है ना जितनी आपको लगी थी और हर चीज जरूरी नहीं कि एकदम टॉप नॉच हो हमारी भी बुक्स काफी लोगों को नहीं पसंद आती यू नो दैट ठीक है हम थोड़ी उनसे बैठ जाते हैं नहीं ना सो इट्स लाइक दैट कि यू कैन नॉट एक्सपेक्ट एवरीवन टू लाइक व्हाट यू आर डूइंग
But where is the balance there? Like, as in, for example, you know that some books are absolutely something that you cannot recommend. I'm not going to use, words. I'm going to use those words. There are some books that you know that you can't absolutely recommend. There are some books which are wanting, but still, they are good. The author can improve in the subsequent. So how do you strike a balance between the two? How do you know which is which? Like, or you just generally go with giving good feedback about it. Like, how do you do?
See, in my reviews, if I haven't liked something, na, that will be in a critical format. That will be in my review. Okay.
Okay.
Usually, when it comes about recommendation on my podcast, most of the books are the ones that I really want to like recommend someone. So for podcasts, like book podcasts that I do, the books are the ones that I literally want to recommend. Like currently, I'm going to I'm planning for this week for the Strange Pictures. I just finished reading that book. I'm planning for that. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it by the end of this week, but that I have to do. For the next one, I've started reading Heartland. So that is covering a very serious theme and topic. If I am not wrong, it's a short story collection. So I'm also going to talk about that particular book. So you can trust on my podcast if you want to get a recommendation. See, if I'm reading some book as a commitment, yeah, I have to give review.
Yes.
Usually, I don't pick randomly.
Hmm.
So because I am very much like I can't DNF the book. तो वो मुझसे नहीं होता है इसलिए I just try to be safe to pick up a book so that I can end up writing its review. So that way I just pick up the book. That the balance come from where I pick up the book.
So last question about Tanvi the Bookstagrammer. You are part of the Fab Four, okay?
Yeah.
So tell me one line about the other three. Just one line.
For other three,
Other
like
three.
single line for all three or one line
No.
for each?
I mean one line for each, basically.
Okay. लीक तो नहीं हो गई?
You want to even shorten that, like one line for all the three of them together.
One line, yeah, I can do the dream team.
That is easy. That's why I'm
That's
saying
my one line. That's my one line. That's the sentence.
for each of them you need to say. You are being very diplomatic here. I can't agree with it.
Okay. Like the one thing that is common for all is a dream team.
Yes.
I like being with that group. I have learned see, I was one of the immature readers, if I would say. I know that is nothing. There is nothing like immature. Everybody has their age and phases of reading the book. But if I can say, because there are times when I don't like other people's recommendation or their choices. So it's all about the experience and how you're reading. So if I talk about one line for each person,
Yes.
I need to think. For Siddhant, it's social butterfly. I know butterfly is female, but again, he has a huge connection. So yeah, social butterfly is Siddhant. Manali is critical lens. Or actually, women of Pisces.
Good
Please
one.
don't ask about me. I am not going to talk about me now.
Let's go to Tanvi, the non-fiction author.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, what I personally felt about you writing non-fiction was your poetry was an extended non-fiction in a way for me. Like, it was doing most of the heavy lifting a non-fiction should do ideally. So, Is your non-fiction an extension of your poetry, or does Tanvi see that it's a different ball game altogether? How does Tanvi see it?
Okay, if I talk about my non-fiction, I'll talk about the old one first.
Hmm.
So I have noticed that my writing style reflects the introspection more of it. Like I want to write something that people can relate in general. If you say non-fiction, and by non-fiction it means कि I'm writing something that I felt and I know other people will be feeling. There is one thing I keep telling myself and others. Everyone is facing same thing at different point of time. Sometimes, like I let's suppose I just dog bit me. Okay, that's a big pain for me. And there is other person who got hit by a car. That's a big pain for him. We both have different intensity. That is how we are going to take. हम दोनों का कुछ ना कुछ हुआ, but the thing is मुझे मान लो कि डॉग बाइट से ज्यादा कुछ नहीं हुआ, लेकिन मुझे तो लगा कि मुझे हुआ। वैसे ही वो एक्सीडेंट से मे बी उसे बहुत ज्यादा हुआ और उसने तो ऐसे फील ही नहीं कराया कि उसे कुछ हुआ। सो दैट इज समथिंग आई बिलीव वी डोंट हैव टू क्रिब कि लाइक मेरे साथ ही क्यों ऐसा होता है। सो दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ राइटिंग आई वांट टू ब्रिंग इनटू द society. Like people should know like they are not alone in doing or seeing things or feeling what is happening in their life. Everybody is facing their own share of problems and like happiness and all the sorrows and everything is happening with them as well. So that sort of writing I want to bring in with my non-fiction.
So, what's the difference in how you approach poetry and nonfiction? Because, at least from the outset that I see, both speak similar themes for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the difference in approach for you?
One becomes metaphorical and the other becomes a reality. That is something that just came into my mind. I
No,
don't
no,
know how.
this is actually good, you know. Super.
I don't know how it came in my mind.
This
But
should be your reel, basically.
yes, yes, yes. When I was saying it, I was like, what am I saying?
No, but that is good. But otherwise, being metaphorical and real, otherwise you approach it the same way. Like, as in, for example, let me ask you this: like, for poetry, like you said, you take everyday mundane things and then you think about it and write. And does non-fiction work that way? Because you cannot put random thoughts in. You have to follow a coherent theme about it. For example, you
Yes,
correct, right?
yes.
So
Here
yeah.
I'll tell you. Here I'll tell you. I write poems and then I bind them in themes. I
Huh.
write. I choose theme and then I write non-fiction. This is the difference if I talk about.
So that's where I'm coming from. How do
Hmm.
you, I mean, you take some gaps in between, obviously, like between chapters and stuff. And how do you ensure it stays within the same thing? Because thoughts are like very, wild. They just run along like.
Yes, they are just faster
So how
than
do you
anything.
temper it? Like, how do you make sure the theme doesn't go out of what you are thinking of, at least?
Unveiled Life Secret. I started writing that book as a quote in COVID. Okay. I was randomly, any quote was coming in my mind and I was writing those quotes. I thought I'll come up with a quotes book. But when I sat with that book, I was like, this is nothing. Like, this will not, this will be just a long book and there will be just single liner or two liner in every page. From there, based on those thoughts, there were like more than 100 thoughts. Okay. So based on those 100 thoughts, I like from those more than 100 thoughts, I took out the 100. Based on that, I just wrote the chapters, like incidents that come in our life. So that is how I went with that particular book.
Okay.
So it's all about the situation and the timing when I'm writing a particular book. If I talk about my current, the upcoming one, I wrote that 2 years back as a part of one challenge. I
Okay.
wrote it just as A to Z of living a happy life. And
Uh-huh.
now it has converted in something else. When it will be out and you will be like, you said A to Z of happy life, what is this? This is something different. This is overall like complete different picture. So that is what I just give my books time. 2 साल पहले वो लिखा था, पूरी फिनिशिंग और जो उसका इवोल्यूशन हुआ है वो इसी साल होके well, like I started last year. I gave myself 90 days. No, that was a different book. Okay, yeah.
So,
Yeah, this year only.
okay. So now your first draft is done. how do you go about editing it? Do you do it yourself? Do you ask your friends, or is it a collaborative effort? Like, how do you go about it generally, your editing process?
If I talk about poetry, I do it myself because I feel poetry is more or not a lot about grammar or something.
Yeah, yeah.
That is why I just look for spelling checks and all that stuff, and I try to figure out myself. But this time for non-fiction, I shared with a few of my friends to proofread it and give suggestions.
Okay.
So they gave me suggestions. Based on that, I just changed a few things, and then since it was going for traditional publishing, so there was an editor, editor dedicated for that. She did her piece of work. So based on that, that was done.
From your ARC readers, like your immediate friends, basically, who did the first round of.
Yeah, the advanced praises. I just sent a few people. Like I could not send to anyone. Like I just
No,
needed some reviews, proper reviews, kind of.
no, no. What I'm trying to ask is your immediate, your first draft readers, na?
Hmm.
Have they given you some feedback based on which you have completely changed something, not everything, but completely changed something, or it was more of just words and polish and stuff?
I'll tell you, there were a few chapters I noticed. उनकी ना length थोड़ा छोटी हो जा रही थी और उसमें कुछ चीजें
Ah,
कम. There's something at the end of every chapter वो थोड़ा कम था. ठीक है. So one of my friends, he's also an author. He gave me those suggestions. Because of his suggestion, I had to go through each chapter again. तो मेरे को वहाँ पे उसकी वजह से I just improvise on the later part of each chapter. So that has helped me. Like I keep telling him, because of your feedback, I have made these changes. So now that book stands at 200 plus pages. And the thing is, it's not about the pages, to be honest. It's about the content that is there.
true,
The
true.
thing is, while finish, like till I come to the finish line, I was feeling something is amiss. I ended up making a bingo card at the end of the book that covers all the aspect of each chapter. So I
Okay,
was like,
so why
thank
I
God.
asked you the.
I literally felt like that when I just came up with that idea of bingo, and I created it's a 26 chapter book, and that bingo is 25 by 5, 25. So I was like, oh wow, you have done something good.
So why I asked that particular question was because even when I wrote Shadowbound, my epilogue was something different,
Hmm.
which I thought was very good. Okay, and then I shared it with my friend, who just said, "I'm not ever reading your book again. I had a great experience. Your epilogue spoiled everything for me." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna change it."
I'll tell you. Because of that suggestion thing, na, there is one book sitting in my draft I have sent to that friend who gave me some suggestions. And I'm behind him. Just read it. I want your suggestions on this before sending it now again to out again out. And he's not reading it, and I'm like, please do it, please do it. Because it's literary fiction basically, so I have to make sure like it is liked by.
Yeah. So the epilogue that you see now is the changed version after she gave me great feedback actually.
No, that is also important because usually what is considered is na, don't take. I was talking this thing yesterday only. Don't take feedback from your friends and the notes. But it's not always true that your friends
Yeah,
will give the dishonest or the biased review. It's not always. I
true,
have a set of people who will upfront like tell me like this is not good. This should be like this. There
true.
are. So I can trust on them because
Yeah.
not every time everybody is there to please you.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. For example, if I am giving my book to you to, give a read for me, I'll expect honest things from you so that I can
Yes.
correct it. And I believe that's how a friendship should grow rather than, hey, if I, say something bad, that person is going to, hate on me and stuff. That is not healthy friendship as such. Like,
Yes.
need to be ready to accept some criticism and feedback.
Criticism on feedback, right?
Yeah, and that's how, I mean, I have had a lot of connections with bookstagrammers who politely approach me and say, "Hey, I have a negative thing to say about your book. Shall I actually say?" I'm like, "Yeah," and then they'll say that, and then they'll be like, "I know that you will not be giving me your book next time." I'm like, "No, no, that is different. This is different. Friendship is different. Feedback is different, and people." will take time to understand that actually. But yeah, so
True, like it's not about like you can be truthful. I told you like one incident
yeah,
about one EAC reader last time backed out because
yes,
he didn't want to give the negative feedback at the initial stage of the book. So these kind of things will keep happening, and we have to make peace out of it. Not every book is for everyone.
yeah. Okay, we have talked a lot about you, so now I am going to the rapid fire. Okay, so yeah, we'll do rapid fire now. Poetry or non-fiction?
Poetry.
Non-fiction that you write or fiction that others write?
That's a little tricky one because I can also write fiction. So, like, I don't want to be like self pleaser, so I'll go with fiction by others. For me, that is for me. That is not
No,
for
no,
others.
no, absolutely. That is yeah, yeah, yeah. 100 Bookstagram reviews or one genuine reader coming to you and telling you you did a great job.
The later part, because I got that 2 years back in Delhi Book Fair, I was
Nice.
not there to like record it, but somebody recorded and sent it to me, and that was so overwhelming. And that was about the non-fiction book, and we like, and I, and that came from an elderly guy. He was like, I don't know what your age is, something like that. He said, but you are definitely giving me something out of it. And I was like, oh my god. Similar thing has happened for my upcoming book. And the editor is like, she's adult, like she's beyond my age. And I was not expecting like people above 30 or 30 plus will genuinely like this book. She was like, "Oh, this is a very good book," and I was like, oh, I have done my job. I know there is a lot coming to my face after the book is out, but still, I can just feel good till then.
Nice one, nice one. Yeah. So the constraints of traditional publishing or the freedom of self-publishing.
The second one.
I'm gonna send this to your editor now.
The thing is, I'll go with the first, but
Uh,
I'll not have that timeline that I have to bring this book this year. So
yeah.
that's why I'm like, next time I'm coming up with traditional, I am going to have a book in between so that I can cover up.
Literary fiction or commercial fiction?
I am not sure of what is commercial fiction.
Okay, let me give you. Literary is more introspective,
Hmm.
where the journey is about the character. Commercial is where the plot advances fast, you know. You don't, for example, let's say, a movie like Jurassic Park is commercial, basically, right?
Okay.
You know,
Okay, I didn't know the meaning of commercial fiction. I might have read it, but eventually I'll be going with literary fiction. Yeah.
nice.
Like I did not want to like मेरे को पता नहीं है तो मैं बोल देती हूँ literary fiction. I did not want to do that. I wanted to know its meaning and then say I want to
Then
go with
say literary fiction because it was always there in your mind. Okay. So just to plug in before we go into the game, tell us about your new book.
Now I'm intrigued. Like, what would be the game for me? Okay, if I talk about my upcoming book,
Yeah.
so it's a non-fiction book and it's more like a journal for your journey. I just give it a tagline as a journal for your journey. Not
Mhm.
revealing the name right now because it will be coming up in a
Yeah, absolutely.
post and on my Instagram. Clicked inside. So so it's about it's about how you should take how you can be in your journey. Basically, it's about telling you to stay there in your journey. Just hold yourself until you are at that milestone you are looking forward to. So, if I say, I have been saying this like for quite a few years, that consistency, usually what we say consistency is like it will keep going.
Yeah.
That is the myth I believe that people have, because of which a lot of people face difficulty to keep up with their goals. So we have to understand consistency is not a straight line; it's a zigzag, mountainous line, mountainous range, basically. So we have to come back again and again where we left over. So if we fail someday, we have to start all over again or restart from where we left. So that is the intention of my upcoming book.
So everyone asks you, why someone should read that book. So I'm going to ask you the other way around. Who, uh, who is someone who when he or she reads your book will not like it. Basically, this book will not satisfy this set of audience.
Okay, if I talk
Yes.
about that set of audience, you basically I have targeted it for the age group 13 plus.
Okay.
But there will be people of adult age, like age group like beyond 30 or maybe even 25, above 25. They might have achieved a lot of things in their life and they will be already following a certain plan. So that book can be like that book can be something they already know about. One thing they might like in the book is the way I have crafted the chapter. Like I have given a room for them to think. That part they can like, but talking about the content, they might feel it like they already know it, because nonfiction is all that. It's just it has to come at the right time to you, like when you need that. Then only people are like, oh, I like this, because
So
that has happened with me.
I'm gonna urge people to still pick it up, even 30 plus people to pick it up because because I have read Tides of Being. Others who might not have read, at least they can pick this one and they will genuinely be surprised. I feel like it should.
Because I have hopes that it is going to change a lot of lives. That is
Mhm.
what I'm seeing, because in this fast-paced world, when people is looking for everything and get it in 2 minutes, not even noodles are coming in 2 minutes.
Mhm.
So if you are looking for something to get in 2 minutes, then you are at the wrong place. You are not supposed to be here. Go grab that book and you will know how much time does it take to be somewhere and to be somewhere.
So now moving on to the game, move on to the next, my favorite segment of Tanvi's podcast, which is the game segment. So I know it's hard. You can try though, because since you said you are on the spot poet, I'm gonna give you some mundane activities. Like
Okay.
you need to just give me one or two lines of poem from that mundane activity. Okay.
Okay.
Like folding clothes.
Folding clothes is such a boring act that I would resist during the day, and I'll end up like putting all the clothes on my chair before I go to sleep.
A good one. Good one. Good one. Okay. So this is from my experience. You are gonna speak for me. Okay. Walking my dog.
Okay, walking my dog. Okay, I have to speak through you now. You're a dog dad. Okay,
Uh,
while walking my dog on the lane, I noticed that one girl who will keep coming every day with her own dog, I would say, with her own dog. I don't know if I am attracted to her or my dog is attracted to her dog. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Drinking beer.
Drinking beer. Okay, I was just coming up with something. I just
It's
lost
okay.
words.
Take your time. It's okay.
I had something very, like, very relatable with that.
Uh-huh.
Drinking beer is equivalent to swollen belly.
Mhm.
The more you take in, the more it comes out. That is how the story of a beer drinking girl comes out.
So finally, one last question for you.
I don't know if I'm making sense. I just randomly things are
No,
coming
it's
to
okay.
mind.
It's okay. I mean, it's more about the thoughts that come out. It's
No,
okay.
actually, now I'm feeling like this is how my guest would be feeling when I give them random things and ask them to make a plot or something like that.
It's good, no? I mean, I'm enjoying it. I don't know about you. I'm enjoying it.
That is what I do when I see my guests and their expressions.
And I know. So I'm not going to torture you much. One last thing. An introspective girl writing non-fiction.
Okay. An introspective girl writing non-fiction is more like a poetry who will end up bringing you back to that book all over again, making you meet yourself one more time. And and allowing you to embrace your better version.
So that's why you should read Tanvi's book. I think we are at the end of our podcast, and I had a great time, Tanvi. It was so much
I too
fun.
had a great. I did. It did feel like I was like I felt a little different from what I do on my podcast. But yeah, again, it felt so like I have interacted with you earlier. Still, I felt like this was something new for me. So it was a very good experience for me. You should definitely start the podcast. I'm
Thank you.
vouching for the way I felt being a guest before you.
Thank you. Thank you. And guys, I'll say Tanvi's words, the final words. If you also want to, take part in a podcast like this with Tanvi, not as the host, but as a guest, check out the description below and reach out to her. And if you really want to be a guest, I mean, I'm sure that I'll run a podcast soon. And if you really want to be my guest, then also you look out for Tanvi's description.